Welcome to the BXG podcast, the podcast where pop culture and nerd culture meet at the nexus of the universe and are melded as seamlessly as cinnamon toast and crunch. This is a BXG production. I am one of your hosts, Brent Beswick, the Alpha Donut guy, alongside a man who has lived in his parents' basement until he was 49 and hasn't paid his back taxes. He's a far left fraud. Gregory T. Filson, and T is for gonna raise your taxes.
Oh, I was gonna say tax fraud is what the T
Oh,
stands
tax
for,
fraud.
but
Yeah,
tax fraud.
I'm ready to commit some tax fraud. Let's do this.
Let's do this. How are you, Brenton?
Tired.
I too am tired.
Tired.
I am tired as well. I never let that stop me. You fight through the tiredness.
Right.
I was running on, rise and grind. I got up at 5:15 this morning. Still got my run in.
Yeah.
But the thing I will say is that I feel bad if, and I'm just going to apologize in advance. And I am sorry that come my breaks, my Thanksgiving break and my Christmas break, if someone asks me a question and I push them to the ground and shout at them, I'm sorry. I'm just tired of questions. I had a day today where I gave children a full sheet with everything they need to know about a writing assignment. And then I got a multitude of questions about things that were already on the paper. And I just wanted to jump through the window. And I can't do that there. I can't do that. But, just think of Simpsons clips of Ralph Wiggum just jumping through the window. And that's me right now. No breaks for a while. Veterans Day finally coming up. So I'll get that Friday off. Most likely going to see my guy Harry Styles in LA.
Oh.
Stoked about that.
Thought you'd be seeing Wakanda Forever that day.
I will probably also be doing that. I'll probably do a matinee of Wakanda and then cool it all off with a nice Harry Styles concert. Do you know who opens for Harry Styles at all in LA, Brenton? Do you have any idea? Ben Harper. Harper.
Is that Bryce's brother?
It'd be cool if it was. Now, Ben Harper, look up your late 90s, early 2000s music. Ben Harper had his whole thing. I feel like it was a band. But anyhow, I'm excited. I still haven't got the tickets. I'm waiting. You got to wait for those things sometimes to see if the prices drop. They don't usually go up. And the other thing is Taylor Swift's going to have
three-time Grammy winner.
Three-time Grammy winner. But I'm excited about that. Just need to get through. Not a lot of time left. Got the bags heavy under the eyes, but I'm excited.
I don't know this person at all. And
I honestly don't think I can name a song, but I do remember Ben Harper. It wasn't my style of music.
He's won 3 Grammys and was the 2003 Rolling Stone Artist of the Year in France. And he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 studio albums spanning nearly 30 years. So good for Ben.
Wow. It's 6 more than Taylor Swift. 6 more than Taylor Swift studio albums.
Yeah.
But anyhow, Harry Styles, hopefully on the docket. Excited about that. Great musician. Truly one of my favorites.
Great musician.
He is great. He's great. Got a great voice. He can play the instruments. He's cool as hell, which is the biggest thing ever if you're a musician. Just be cool.
Right. Yeah. He's so cool, he almost forced me out of the MCU. So.
What?
Yeah, I don't want to see Harry Styles in the MCU.
Why do you not want to see Harry Styles?
I don't like Harry Styles.
What do you not like about Harry Styles?
It's a handsome. It's a children's show, or this is a family-oriented show.
He is handsome.
I just don't like him.
He is cool. He dresses cool.
I don't think he does dress cool. He wears dresses.
That's cool.
I don't find that cool.
He also is a spokesman for my favorite designer, Gucci. Which, if I were famous, that's what I hope would come after me is Gucci. The best clothing company, in my opinion. I love Gucci, but I don't have that kind of money. I do have a Gucci watch, but that's all I have. Thanks, Mom, for the Gucci watch. But has a tiger on it. It's cool. Yeah.
If
So
I
that's
were
it for me, Brenton.
if
How
I
are
were
things on your end with
famous,
that?
if I were famous, I would want to be endorsed by
Balenciaga? You'd be I feel
hold
like you'd be a
on.
Balenciaga guy. Chunky
What
shoes,
is
oversized.
who provides clothes at Walmart? Like who's that? Who's the Walmart
I don't
brand?
know. I don't know.
Like
I don't think
Apartment
I've ever
9?
got I don't think I've ever bought clothes at Walmart. I'm not trying to be like,
George.
you know, oh yeah, I probably have
Yeah.
bought, you know what, I probably have
George.
bought socks or something at Walmart.
Yeah. I would
I'm not shaming. I just never have.
I would want to be endorsed by George from Walmart.
I would say the clothes I wear the most are probably J. Crew and Abercrombie and Fitch. That's probably, and I'll say 100% why is that
because you like girls that wear Abercrombie and Fitch.
I mean, yeah, I do that, but also they make clothes that actually fit someone that is small in stature.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
A lot of companies actually don't. It's weird how companies don't normally, like, smalls from some companies are like larges on me, and it's weird, but it's the reason people are like, Abercrombie. But
I don't know. Like, I think like I don't know. Most of my clothes are like graphic T-shirts from either Walmart or Target. So
sure, I have many graphic. I love a good T-shirt too.
Ooh, man,
how's it going? It's chilly here. It's
going to be almost 80 here on Saturday, so that's
delightful. Is it really? It's going to be 58 degrees here. I'm pissed.
77.
I did not move to California for 58-degree weather. God damn it.
Yeah. How are things? I would be delighted. I will be delighted as soon as all the election stuff is over. I'm very tired of getting, the ads, whether they be on TV or through the mail or what have you. And
how many robocalls you get a day, Brenton?
I don't get many. I have like
That's good.
I have a good spam blocker ad or app. So but I feel, like sometimes people come to the house and I, kindly tell them to go fuck themselves. And
you don't invite them in for an ice cream and
no, or my other
kind of funny.
My other problem is the folks who stand outside the election centers at whatever distance, that they're allowed to stand where they're legally able to harass people. And can we count on your vote? Unlikely. I mean, and then the other problem is that my personal voting center is in a Christian academy.
Do you just not vote by mail? Maybe I'll fill out my ballot right now. They're in the pod.
I can tell the last one we did, but I like to go, and do the whole thing.
You get your sticker either way.
That's
the whole point of voting, getting your sticker.
Okay. So, but ours is at a Christian school, and so you get hit with the, can we count on your vote?
Oh, I can't even see it.
Would you like a Bible? And the answer to both of those questions is no. I don't. You can't count on my vote, and I would not like a Bible.
You're like, I got 6 at home.
Yeah, that's what I tell them.
You should. That's what you do. Tell people like that. You just be like, I got 6 at home.
Yeah, King James? No, King Louis.
King Louis.
King Henry VIII version.
So, Governor State of California.
Oh, we're not going to do this. Let's not do this.
The incumbent. No, I just want to say this because it's funny. And then Brian Dahl is the Republican candidate. His thing is Senator Farmer. So
do you have any weird propositions on there?
There's so many propositions. This is let me get this.
I can't see it.
You can't see it. It's weird. It's weird how it won't show up.
Give me some of those props.
One proposition I think is really funny.
Wasn't there?
Prop 29 is my favorite. It's literally my favorite proposition in a while.
Mm-hmm.
It requires people to be licensed to give you kidney dialysis. So, and people are like, I don't want someone to be licensed to give me kidney dialysis. It's like, are you kidding me right now? Like, I don't want some rum-dum giving me a kidney dialysis. I'm sorry that this is like, you could just have like Sydney across your street give you a fucking kidney dialysis. I want a person that knows what the hell it's dialysis.
Yeah.
The commercials are hilarious. They're so, you're like, oh, yeah, I need this. I need my kidney. Yeah, go to a place that'll do it professionally.
Was there not in the last few years a proposition on the California ballot that would require condoms to be used in pornography?
Yeah. I don't think I lived here when that was the thing, but that was a thing.
What would your vote have been?
Yeah. Why not?
Requirement?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just curious.
Unless it's just like, I'm not going to get too into it, but it's just like, watch Boogie Nights.
Fair enough. Watch Boogie Nights. All right, let's do the actual. Let's do the show.
I'm like,
here.
I love proposition. It's like one of my favorite things to read.
Prop. I love that it's like prop 38. You'll no longer. Yeah, give me another one.
Provides additional funding for arts and music and public. I will definitely vote for that.
Okay, that's not that funny though. I want something.
No, but
funny.
what I mean is like that's a good one.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I want a professional giving me kidney dialysis. No, I just want Steve.
Oh, damn it, Steve. Stay back in the corner. Wasn't Steve in the corner for Lord of the Rings just jacking off?
Like, Steve, you stabbed me in the kidney. Don't dialysize my kidney, asshole.
Come on, Steve. Quit playing. Quit playing, Steve.
Steve, clean that needle.
Yeah, quit playing, Steve.
He spits on his napkin. He's like, I don't do it. How Mom would do it.
Yeah. Additionally, kids, don't get a tattoo or do drugs with Steve.
Should we do a live election night pod?
God, no. Fuck no.
We just
no.
Live. I'll have the board. Let's have the board behind
me.
You'll be like,
what, John? Is that John King at CNN?
He does that.
I watched
him. The MSNBC guy, the handsome guy.
Yeah. I'm a John King guy.
I can do it.
During the whole shit show that was the 2020 election, and it was like every half hour we're going to cut to John King and he's going to say the same goddamn thing for the next 5 days, where he's like, well, this is where we're at. This county, now we count votes. That's it.
Yeah,
we count
so much.
We count votes. We're going to count the votes. That's what's got to happen now. We're gonna count the votes.
The Kornacki. That's the guy.
The MSNBC guy. Okay.
He wears his tie it's a little loose with the tie. Steve Kornacki, good looking guy. Nerd.
On the topic of asking a lot of questions. Do you remember in Return of the Jedi when Luke Skywalker asked Yoda so many questions that Yoda just died?
Dies. That's one of my favorite memes. Honestly, I love that meme.
He just died. Gregway. Andor. And what are you drawing up plays there?
I'm filling out my ballot.
Oh, okay. Andor, episode 9. Kind of a split episode. Bix is being interrogated by Deidre Marrow for information on the whereabouts of both the buyer, who we know obviously as Luthen, and Cassian Andor. And they're using a very interesting type of interrogation technique where they play like the sounds of a dying creature, and it just makes you go insane. So that's cool.
That was cool. Yeah, agreed.
Meanwhile, nobody's listening.
Nobody's listening. It's the name of the episode.
Yes, it is. And no one is listening to the prisoners. And there's a situation on level 2. And we learn towards the end of the episode where the old gentleman who is working on the work crew with Andor strokes out, and they call a medic, and they're just like, well, we're just going to put you down like a dog, basically.
Yeah. Right.
And they learn that no one's being released.
I can't help anyone.
They're recycling. They're recycling prisoners. You get released off level 4, you get sent back to level 2. And so now we are Andy Serkis, his character, as well as the rest of the team in this prison block, are ready to make their escape. Meanwhile, some shit happens with Mon Mothma. Who cares?
Right.
So, yeah. Hers is easily the most boring storyline of the show. And I will say that this episode was probably the least like gripping to me so far.
Yeah. I would say, I've talked about the show being really, really good and probably my favorite show of like the 3 that we have really dug into lately. The show definitely wasn't as gripping. It was also a shorter episode. It's almost like they knew that it wasn't going to be that good, in like the grand scheme. So like, let's keep it short. We need to build the storyline a little bit. And they did build the storyline. We realized the recycling, like you said, which I think is important. It was building towards that. And I just went out of the episode with it. So, the writing's still really good with the show, even when the show is boring. Like, this show I wouldn't say the show was boring, but it just wasn't that thrilling.
Yeah, it was a big time setup episode.
Yeah, it was a big time setup episode, but like, I still like this show a lot. Because I feel like the writers just know what they're doing. It feels way. I saw a thing with The Ringer today where like Andor was the show that we thought like Game of Thrones and their House of Dragons and Power of the Rings was supposed to be, where it's like good setup to like good prequels to something. And like, this is a good prequel to something because it is building up all this energy. The show is still anxiety inducing. Like, there still is that, like, you're sort of on your edge caring about things like that. This one's just that build. So, not, every kind of show like this is going to have a building episode where it's just not that interesting, but things are still happening. It's just a slower happening. And I think that was just this. It's hard to say like, oh, this episode wasn't good. It's just, it is what it really, this is the episode that like, we didn't necessarily want. It's the episode we needed to build towards where we're going.
And this is the Ringer headline: Andor, the Empire is scarier without Sith Lords and super weapons by avoiding Darth Vader, the Death Star, and the dark side of the Force. Andor has
good article. It's a very good article.
Disturbing banality of the Empire's evil. And that's the thing that I've said from the beginning was we want to see what makes the Empire bad, what makes them insidious, what makes them, evil. And this show has delivered on that, giving people sentences for being a tourist up to 6 years and then sending them to work camps where they're not actually being released and they're working these 12-hour shifts and being worked like dogs and all this. And using torture methods and, setting up garrisons and taking people's religious freedom. Like, this is what you want to see when you're having a show that is, a political thriller. And I do think that yes, this is a Star Wars show. Yes, that there are laser blasters. Yes, there have been TIE fighters. There are droids. But this show is a political thriller. In the same vein as something like Jack Ryan or, Tom Clancy stuff, when Jack Ryan is a Tom Clancy thing. But I can't say enough good things about it. Yes, this episode was a little bit slower, but I do think it's building. It's just, I'm curious to see with 3 episodes left where this ends up at, because I do believe they're going to prison break in this next episode. And then I think that there's going to be some type of shootout or battle or whatever on his homeworld, because they are using his mom as bait. And we also know that some of these other characters, these second and tertiary characters, we had one of the one of the characters that was in on the heist with him, we learn that she is the cousin of Mon Mothma. And so that's like a nice little twist and wrinkle. And those characters are trying to bring her in more to the violent side of the rebellion, where it seems like she's really trying to fund things or use her political clout, but you can see it failing as every time she takes the stage in the Senate, people are just not paying attention. They click their lights out. They're not paying attention to her. And so, you can kind of see that where she's going to get drawn into the more violent aspects of this. But I think this is a nice, dark, gritty take on Star Wars.
Yeah.
And it's, I haven't read the article from the Ringer yet, but I do agree that the Empire is scarier and evil without Sith Lords, without Darth Vader, without the Death Star. And part of the reason is because that shit is cool. Like Darth Vader's cool. You know what I mean? So
you dress up as Darth Vader for Halloween.
Right. Like Darth Maul is cool looking. Kylo Ren is cool looking. So like the bad guys in Star Wars, even though they're the bad guys, there's something like mysterious about them and intriguing about them and cool about them. Whereas this is just showing, and again, we've drawn the parallels to Nazi Germany, Russia, other, fascist regimes and stuff like that. But this is drawing those parallels to the scary things that are in our world right now, because a lot of the things that are happening in this show aren't too dissimilar from some of the things that are happening in some of the seedier parts of the world.
Right.
And so I do think that the show should be praised not only for what it is as a Star Wars show, but also I think that they're doing better social commentary without maybe even necessarily trying to than She-Hulk, for example, did. And they were trying very hard to.
Trying very hard, yeah. I agree. I mean, it's hard to say, like, what's my favorite show this year? This show, I will say, we had pretty high expectations for this. I think we both were like, this looks cool. Exceeded my expectations far and wide. It's way better than I thought. It's just so well written. It's like, that's the thing I normally care about with shows. It's like, we started watching the second season of White Lotus, and the first season of White Lotus was great. Second season, the first episode just didn't hit me as hard as I wanted it to, and it makes me a little concerned about like where they're going with the writing, if they even really plan on doing something like that. But the show like this, it's just like the writing is so perfect. Like there's not a missed line. I think that's the thing with this that really sets it apart. And you don't watch Succession, right, Brendan?
Correct. Yes, that's correct.
That's the best show. That is the best show on television. Like that currently has like seasons to happen or seasons planned. And that's because the writing is so good. And that's, Breaking Bad, the writing was so perfect on that show, Mad Men, things like that, The Wire. And this show is doing that same kind of thing. And like, I hope that it gets recognized.
Yeah.
Because I know it says Star Wars. It says Star Wars. And I know it's Star Wars related, but this is a show that isn't, I would say like it's not your younger self Star Wars. It's not those 3 movies that came out, just recently that weren't, high quality. This is someone who cares about this franchise and wants to make it seem respectable, and that's what I love about this show, because it's so. This might be like, I don't want to say this, like this might be the worst episode of this season, and it's still better than most other things that happen on television.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, but I do I do expect in the next week or two for business to pick up, and hopefully we go out.
It's gonna be
season 1 on a high note here.
100%.
So we will move on. We move on to quite possibly the best show on television right now.
Not the worst.
Being reviewed by the BXG. Chainsaw Man, episode 4. The battle is over. Power does not understand why Denji would sacrifice. And for someone who betrayed him. And then another devil appears. I didn't specifically catch the name of this one, but it was had many teats, it would appear.
The cow monster, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. It was like a worm cow.
It was weird.
Yeah, very weird. And despite the fact that he lost a lot of blood and couldn't go full Chainsaw Man on this thing, he continued to fight because this guy just needs some boobs. And the battle resolves by Haka. I forget his name. Ponytail guy. I need it up. Coming in and using his devil that he's bonded with, which is like the fox devil, who just comes and eats this thing, basically.
Lord of the Rings it.
Lord of the Rings it? Go on.
The last movie where it cheated and just quickly.
Right. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Hayakawa. And then the rest of the episode is sort of centered around the fact that Denji is living with Hayakawa, and now Power also has to live with Hayakawa, and it's like Three's Company, the odd couple. But
that's what
at the end of the show, Power corners Denji, and we are led to believe that she upholds her end of the bargain.
Yep.
And she says, "You may fondle me."
That's it.
Thoughts?
Power's gross though. Like, she doesn't flush her toilet.
Herself. Right.
That's gross. Like,
yeah.
I mean, however hot she may be, the guy, like, come on, like, clean yourself up.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, sure.
I mean, this show is just what it is. I don't even know, like, it's weird. It's like the fastest 20 minutes ever.
Yeah.
It literally is just like, here we go, boom, credits, you're done with the show. So it's like, he can't have the blood, but he's just like boobs. And it's just, I know
he lost his hand there too for a while.
That was cool.
Lost his arm.
It was like,
forgot about that.
We never actually know how he lost. Like, it was a bullet, but like, where did that even come from?
Yeah, from the devil's nipple boob thing.
But we don't really see that. It's like funny. Like, that was that funny thing where it's like, oh, this is just, they didn't care about showing what that was.
Yeah.
And he like lost his hand. That was funny. That made me laugh. Like, actually laugh. I will say, anytime, even if I watch something really funny, I really laugh out loud. I like laughed so loud when that happened because it's like, we have no idea what this is, and then they didn't reference it back. So I was just like,
well, until he grows it back via a blood transfusion.
Yeah. They find his arm because they killed the thing and whatever, and they're like, "Oh, we found your arm." And I love that too. This is no stitches. It's just his back.
Yeah,
it's good. You're good to go.
Devil power.
This show is. This is the thing I'll say. Probably my favorite thing about this show. Like, it doesn't care.
Correct.
I think that's the best thing. It literally does not care. It's just like boobs, blood.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all this show is. It does not care about anything else. It's like, the plot is loose as hell. Like, a lot of times I'm not even sure what the plot is, which is fine. I don't care about that. But it's boobs and blood. It's just like, he's got that half chainsaw.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, he doesn't even have to do this. He could just walk away.
Right.
He's like, I just need to cop a feel though.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like he's having sex with her. It's just like to get, sorry, everybody. He just wants to touch a boob. that's the funny thing. That's what makes the show so funny to me, and like the graphic novel, the manga, so funny to me. It's like that's it. He's not even like, hey, can I do anything else? It's like, no, just let me touch a boot.
I would say the overarching plot being that, you know, they have to kill these devils. That's the overarching plot.
Yeah, they do, but
there's going to be some. I think that there's going to be maybe a little bit of palace intrigue as far as the government is kind of approving this unit to work with these fiends and devils that they would otherwise eradicate. And so I think that there's probably going to be a little bit of a political side to this. But I also believe that there's something about Makima's eyes that tells me that she's not, like, they're orange and red, right, and have like the little spirally things. So that tells me that not is all what it seems with her as well. And she's so incredibly soft-spoken at all times. It's just she's kind of a creepy character to me, but
she's very creepy.
So I think that like the real story is sort of building in the background, and we have these sort of just wild interstitial action set pieces and then comedy scenes where he's, you know, pursuing his one motivation, but in the meantime there is something, you know, boiling behind the surface. I will say that I did like that he at one point used the entrails of the Bat Devil Empire Strikes Back style to kind of trip this other thing up. That was a good touch, especially because like if you think of the opening credit montage where there's so many pop culture references, and then you kind of think to yourself within the show, what other pop culture references are there? I mean, I feel like if that's what they were going for, that's clearly a reference towards Empire Strikes Back. You wonder if like the creepy house that they were in the last episode was maybe an homage to something like Silence of the Lambs or something like that. Right,
yeah.
So it's kind of fun to sort of pick those out as well. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, this show is wild. It's totally crazy, but I do think that there is something. I don't think that there's going to be anything where it's going to be so shocking, like, oh my God. And that's the thing about this show. The shock value.
It doesn't need that.
The sticker shock value is already so high because of just how bombastic the action set pieces are, that I don't think any plot twist is like out of bounds. And so therefore, even though it'll be designed to be shocking, I don't necessarily think it'll be that shocking. Because it'll be like, oh, she's a three-headed, you know, she's a three-headed tit monster. That makes sense.
Sure.
You know, whatever. You know, it's just like, like I could see them doing literally anything. Like, oh, the main bad guy for this is actually Stephen Baldwin.
That'd be sick.
I'd be like, hey, makes sense. I like it. Makes sense. Stephen Baldwin.
Right.
You know, Biodome.
That'd be good.
Pauly Shore. But yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy it on a weekly basis. I look forward to watching it.
Yeah, I also look forward. Yeah, and I like things. I will generally say like a lot of this isn't normally my thing because it's so sometimes it's so outlandish and so ridiculous that like doesn't. But this one is like perfectly outlandish and ridiculous.
Right. Just enough.
And I think that's what makes it. Yeah, just enough.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what else we have in our bag of tricks here. Well, we're recording on November 3rd, but I guess better late than never for a Halloween movie review.
Spooky season still in session.
And we have Hocus Pocus 2. And Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, Kathy Najimy return alongside newcomers Tony Hale, Sam Richardson, not to be confused with Samuel Dallas Richardson, Whitney Peak, Belissa Escobedo, Lilia Buckingham. Doug Jones also returns in the role of Billy Butcherson. And the Winifred sisters are back, and they're brought back by two would-be young witches themselves. And
young witches.
Their quest for immortality continues, this time via what do you got going on? Oh, you're voting?
I'm telling them about it.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah. That's about how interested I was
theme of the show
in this movie as it was unfolding.
Okay.
As soon as the Sanderson sisters returned, it was the same plot with a lot of recycled jokes and a snappy dance number, song and a dance number. And then they were defeated.
Song and dance, man.
That's Lin-Manuel Miranda, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. So I
He's
wasn't
the song and dance man. Yeah.
Right. I wasn't too high on this, and I had moderate expectations for this particular film, and I feel as though those expectations were not met just because of the sameness of it all.
Well, this is what I'll say is like, this is just doing that movie for like your younger generation.
Yeah, sure.
Where it's like, you just do this because it's like, oh, here, my kids need to see this movie, but maybe I don't want to watch both. And like, that's because like, if you watch both, it is the same movie. It's honestly like not shot for shot the same movie, but
no, I mean, there's some
movie.
There's some updated jokes. For example, she rides like two Roombas instead of a vacuum cleaner or whatever, and
right.
It was just, like I said, I had moderate expectations going into this, and it just didn't really do anything I was looking for. And then I think the most disappointing thing about this is that they certainly teased another movie. So what did you think about that?
I don't want another movie. Yeah. I don't want another. We don't need it. Like the first one, the first movie.
Whoa,
I will 100%. The first movie is great, and the second movie is fine because it's like, the first movie is great. The second movie, it's just the same movie. We don't need a third one, literally, unless they try to make it different. And I didn't want them to make it different because the first movie is so fun. Like, I will say, the first movie is very fun and very rewatchable, which makes it good. Also, it's just like, Sarah Jessica Parker is just so smoking hot in that first one. It's like, that's just, that's why I love that movie. She's so smoking hot in that first one. And I still find Sarah Jessica Parker attractive now, but I'm just saying that. But yeah, it's just, we don't need a third one. We definitely don't need a third one.
They teased that they were kind of trained by this other witch who was played by Hannah Waddingham from Ted Lasso, and that's kind of what the third movie may potentially deal with. And I don't know, this is one of those conversations where I feel like sometimes things need to stand on their own and be left alone, and they don't need to be brought forward like this. And I think that it's kind of the same thing as what's happening with a lot of those live action Disney movies, Little Mermaid and Lion King.
We can't all be Top Gun 2. We can't all be Top Gun 2.
Or Ghostbusters, Afterlife.
Right, or Ghostbusters. But there was that other Ghostbusters that didn't do so well. So it's like,
that's true. True also.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I just sometimes I think that nostalgia as a cash grab is just not good. And I know that some people like this movie.
No,
I know my kids like this movie, but they like the original.
Well, that's the idea. They should like this movie.
But they also like the original.
Well, other kids too. Right?
Yeah,
Isn't that the kind of the idea? Like,
I
kids
guess.
should like both of these. We're 37-year-old. You're 38. I'm 37.
Yeah.
But like, we will see the differences or not differences
The
in
lack
things.
of differences. Yeah.
Right. And kids are just like, that's fun.
Yeah.
Magic. Witchy.
Magic.
Right.
I don't really like magic. Do you have any this is a shorter episode. Do you have
Yeah.
any media recommendations?
You know what? I read a book and I'm not going to recommend it.
Okay.
So I'm not going to put that out there. It wasn't something I really liked. I thought the writing was lazy. I'm not going to put her out there.
Okay.
It is what it is. I'm not gonna shout her. But I will say World Series. Watch that. It's an intriguing World Series. Hopefully it's, carries to 7 games. Obviously, anti-Astros podcast. We're an anti-Astros podcast.
Yeah, fuck them.
And honestly, I will continually tell people to watch Abbott Elementary. We also watched Mr. Toad on Disney Plus. I never saw Mr. Toad. Janie recommended it to me, and I was like, this slaps. It's really good. Mr. Toad goes through some stuff. No lessons learned either, which I love. I love when a movie has something where it's like no lessons learned. Mr. Toad's just rich. We don't know why he's rich. He goes through some shit, and then no lesson learned. I love a no lesson learned movie. And Mr. Toad's that. So that would be my media recommendations. What about you, Brenton?
Just The Challenge, Survivor, Amazing Race.
Oh yeah, Challenge is good. Yeah, Challenge is great. Yeah, Challenge is great.
I started a movie called The Gentleman, but I haven't finished it yet, so I can't speak to, its overall quality. That's a Guy Ritchie. That's that Guy Ritchie movie I was telling you about.
Guy Ritchie, yeah.
Yeah. So
there's that. I don't watch anything. Funny Games, the original Funny Games. We watched that. Not as good as the American version of it, where they redid it shot by shot, which is weird. It would not be as good, but still very affecting. It's very affecting.
Okay.
The American version of Funny Games, I watched it at 3:00 in the afternoon, and I still couldn't sleep.
Sure.
So that tells you that. So I will say that.
The other thing I would say,
Filled out my ballot.
I don't care.
I'm good to go. I'm ready to rock and roll. Where's my sticker?
BXG Productions, social medias, Instagram at BXG Prods, at GT Phils, at Y2B, Twitter at GT Philson, at BXG Prods, at Alpha Donut Guy. Actually, I think those are the other way around. Instagram's Alpha Donut Guy, Twitter's Y2B, whatever. YouTube, we are currently 3 subscribers away.
Alaska's the best stickers. Yeah, 97. We're at the 97 mark.
Three subs away. So if you haven't, like, subscribe, share, be a friend, tell a friend. BXG Podcast publishes every 9 a.m. Friday Eastern Standard Time.
Tell your mothers. Tell Harry Styles.
I didn't even get that far yet. You jump in the gun.
I was telling you, tell Harry Styles.
No, don't tell him shit. Don't cut me off again.
No, we want him.
We're gonna have
him on the pod.
If you cut me off again, we're gonna have problems. I'm just letting you know. Don't do it. Publishes at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 a.m. Pacific, 4 a.m. Hawaiian.
Aloha.
On podcast services around the globe, Spotify, Amazon, Google, so on and so forth, Apple. Tell your friends, tell your families. Now you go.
Tell Harry Styles.
Nope. The unmistakable essence of
tell Harry Styles.
The BXG Podcast.
It's so cool if we had Harry Styles on live.
Yeah.
He comes in live. He just sits here in the kitchen.
And enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your early November fall plans. Take care, everybody.
Daylight savings time this weekend? No.
Next weekend.
I'm always confused. It's next weekend.
Yeah, I think it's next weekend.
You fall back.
Yes. Yep. we allegedly gain an hour of sleep, which is
we gain an hour
true.
of sleep. All of us stay up later. That's what happens.
No, I actually will lose an hour of sleep because my kids will think that it's
children. Yeah,
children.
I don't have children, so I don't have that.
Right.
But what happened for me is I'll be like, I'll get an hour of sleep. I'll just watch more football.
There you go. Take care, friends. Thanks for listening.